Well, hello everyone! I was thinking to give you an overview of all the cameras I have used for my street photography, as I find it very difficult to get rid of them, give them away, to sell them, because these are kind of emotional objects for me, as they have helped me to create all these images. They have stuck with me in all the times that I was developing myself as a street photographer. My house is a bit small to keep all these objects, but at the other side I can now show you my whole track record. Let's start with the first one. Well, actually my very first camera, that one I didn't keep, as it was a toy camera. It was pink. It looked fantastic. I don't even know if it was a real camera, if I ever took pictures with it, but it was the first camera-like object I possessed. Well, my second childhood camera is this Yashica, and it is very lightweight. It is also no way of configuring settings or something. All the pictures I took with this one were quite bad, like overexposed, underexposed, out of focus. I was just trying to photograph my guinea pig and my mother. But I remember I was looking through the viewfinder and I saw what I wanted to capture, but then when I pressed the shutter and then when I went to develop the photos, it never looked good. So I remember this disappointment with what I thought to capture and how it eventually came out. The third camera is actually a phone. It's one of my first teenager mobile phones. It's so small. And it was my first digital device to photograph with. And it's a Sony Ericsson, and it also has quite a good lens. And here I noticed how important I found it to see this instant feedback, to see how things look when they're photographed, to develop from there. So actually this phone was kind of the start of the evolution of my photographical eye. Sadly, the fourth camera I got was stolen when our house was robbed, but it was a Nikon with a flip screen, and I got it as a gift from our dear friend David, a friend of our family. And he could have sold his camera, but instead he decided to gift it to me, as I was kind of developing, not as a photographer, but this was a passion of mine, and I was very fanatic with my phone to take photos, so he decided to give it to me so I could pursue this passion further. And around this time I also got this book as a gift from my parents. It's called Paris Mon Amour. I saw all these images by Cartier-Bresson and Doisneau and these French classical photographers, street photographers, and I was very much inspired by this style. When I went to Paris, I took my camera with me, and it had a little flip screen, and I took my very first street photograph in the metro from a very close distance, candid. So even if I do not longer have this camera, I still remember very vividly how much pleasure I got from catching this situation. Moving on to the next camera, my Fuji Finepix. It's a very lightweight camera. It also has quite a strong, large zoom. I use it a lot. Also, I felt quite safe, as I could just zoom and I did not need to move closer to the subject. And I took some photos that I still use in my portfolio. But at a certain time, it was also time to move closer to the subjects by walking and not by zooming. That's why I got myself this camera, the 450D, with a Sigma 30mm lens. A fixed lens, so no zooming, so I really had to get closer to the subjects, super scary. I even had to get used to this camera. It's almost like a relationship where you have to get used to this new companion. And this one stood with me for a very long time. I was photographing everything around me, the streets, my friends. I did some series, and I started to develop my style of capturing absurd and surreal moments of everyday life. As I was doing more and more professional assignments, I needed a professional camera as well. So I got myself this Canon 5D Mark II with the lens 24 70mm. And this is kind of the golden combination, this lens and this body. It still works. I have it since 2011 and I've never changed from this camera for like professional assignments. I know that Canon has developed many cameras since this one, all these marks and mirrorless cameras. But I don't need to necessarily follow all these technological updates. When a camera works well for me, I tend to stick to it. I like this lens also because I use it a lot for events and for like documentary photography when I sometimes need to be very quick in terms of changing from wide angle to zoom. So this lens is perfect. I also like the size. It's a real working horse. It's quick, it's sharp. So as long as I'm happy with it, I keep it. And then in the meantime, I realized that my little Canon was not working that well anymore for me. It was getting slower, it was not always sharp. I think the focus was a bit off. So I went to a shop to look at some cameras and I saw this second-hand Fuji. And it was in a very good shape. This is the XT1. I thought, well, this is the perfect way to get to know this camera, to see in like a low-key manner if it's something for me. And again, like with every new camera, I needed weeks to get used to it. It was a different interface, a different way of handling it. But in the end, I came to love it and I kept it for many years. It was fast, it was sharp. I also love how this camera captures the bright lights in the evenings. I took the Fuji everywhere I went. I was further developing my personal style and I started to do a series for an Amsterdam-based newspaper where I had to deliver one photo every week in all weather conditions. As the XT1 is quite a resistant camera, it survived all this and I finished the whole series and eventually made a book about it. And my newest camera, my most recent camera, it's the one I'm filming with. It's you! It's the Fuji XT4. It's basically the same model as this one, but it's just a bit newer and a bit better. One of the biggest advantages is that it can film. And I'm using it a lot also for my YouTube videos. It has this 4K filming function. And it's still a very good photo camera. I'm also using it for commercial assignments. Basically, when I'm happy with the camera, I will just buy the same model, but a bit better and a bit newer if I feel I need to. Basically, I don't really need a new camera right now. The only thing what I would consider is like a lightweight, small size camera to almost like fit it in the pocket that I could take with me in like a low-key way. Because with the Fuji, I'm sometimes a bit scared if I should take it like on a night out. I'm thinking about this Ricoh GR camera. I know a lot of people are very positive about it. So can you help me? Can you let me know if you would suggest it to me? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments, please. Well, you have seen my whole camera family with the big ones, the small ones, the phones, the Yashica, the Canons. Like these are all my babies. And I still love them. I still have this emotional connection to them. Also because each of the machines is, is a part of a different time frame in my like street photography process. I hope you have enjoyed this video, this overview, and you can always subscribe and like and share this video and help me to grow this channel. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye!